Well, unfortunately, Pirates season ends with a dud as they lose 4-1 to the Atlanta Braves. As they finish the 2025 season 71-91. Now, I think I'm just going to go in depth here, talk about how the season went, thoughts for the future, how the team can improve. I guess I'll just get right into it. We'll start with the pitching because I definitely have more positive things to say about the pitching. Paul Skeens. I first and foremost would like to sincerely apologize to you personally. I said at the start of the season I expected you to have a sophomore slump of sorts. Because I did not think there was any way you could replicate the greatness that you showed in your rookie season. I could not be more happy to admit that I was wrong. I am so happy that you proved me wrong. It wasn't that I was taking a shot at you. It was, again, that I thought there was no way you could replicate the success you had. And I sincerely apologize to you for that. Because I thought it would take another year for you to get back. So, this is the man you proved wrong, apologizing sincerely to you. As you finish the season with a 1.97 ERA, 216 strikeouts, 42 walks in 187.2 innings pitched. You are absolutely incredible. Probably going to win the Cy Young. And I am so happy that you're on my favorite baseball team. The entire city of Pittsburgh loves you. And I hope you stick around here for a while. For a good long while. And hopefully this team can actually help you out in the future. Mitch Keller. You're one of the people we paid. You were one of the people we paid. And I, admittedly, tried to be reasonable with you. I remember saying at the start of the season how Mitch Keller is actually a good pitcher. And I still believe that to be true. However, this season was not your best. 4.19 ERA, 150 strikeouts, 51 walks in 176.1 innings pitched. You are one of the people the Pirates paid. You are one of the people that are expected to be a cornerstone of this franchise for years ahead. Unfortunately, you can't be a cornerstone of this franchise and then have seasons like that. Now, again, I admittedly was patient. I was patient with you. I was. I remember saying towards the start of the season that Mitch Keller, he's a good pitcher, but he always does have 4 or 5 games a year where he puts up an absolute stinker of a performance, where he'll give up 5 runs in 3 innings. He did that several times this season. And in all fairness, there were a ton of times where he would pitch like 1-run outings, where he would only give up 1 run, 0 runs, and he would get charged a loss. But I'll get into that later. Mitch, if this team is going to be good, you got to be better. You got to be better. I still believe in you. I like to think the city of Pittsburgh still believes in you. But you got to be better. Carmen Mlodzinski. I should mention, I'm not going to go over every single pitcher and hitter, because that would take eons. I'm not trying to make this an hour-long video. Majinski. Overall, I don't really have many complaints with you, believe it or not. I was complaining about you at the start of the year, but that was because you were in the starting rotation, and that's not your fault. You're just not meant to be a starting pitcher. You are a bullpen arm, and that's fine. 3.55 ERA, 89 strikeouts in 99 innings, 27 walks. Again, I don't have a problem. Mike Burrows, you're a young pitcher. I expect you to struggle. You had your time. You had your moments. You definitely did have your moments, but for good chunks of the season, you were struggling. 3.94 ERA, 97 strikeouts, 31 walks, 96 innings. He's a young pitcher. I expect him to get better. I hope he gets better. I hope that he can learn from the good moments and the bad moments and improve upon them. Braxton Ashcraft, actually, pretty good. 2.71 ERA. If you see me glancing down, I'm looking at my notes. I wrote down a ton of notes for this. So that's why you see me glancing down. Braxton Ashcraft, 71 strikeouts, 24 walks, 2.71 ERA in 69.2 innings. I have no complaints. I have no complaints. None whatsoever. If he replicates that stat line next season, I'll be happy. Bubba Chandler. Again, another very young pitcher. I like this kid a lot, man. I like this kid a lot. Also, I'm not going into their records because I think, one, pitcher records are stupid, and two, they're all going to be terrible. They're all going to be terrible. This team was terrible. So I don't see a reason. Plus, as I said, I hate that stat. Bubba Chandler, 4.02 ERA, 31 strikeouts, 4 walks, and 31.1 innings. I like this kid a lot, man. I really, really do. I like this kid a lot. And in all honesty, his ERA is really inflated compared to what it should be. He was honestly giving up 1 to 2 runs a game. But then he had one really bad game. I think it was his third outing. Where he gave up like 7 runs in like 2 innings. And that drastically inflated it. But if you look beyond that one game, he had a really good season, man. He really did. And I really, really like what this kid can do. I really think the future is bright for this kid. Bubba Chandler, you were awesome. I expect awesomeness from you next year. Dennis Santana. Probably the most reliable, definitely the most reliable bullpen arm. 2.18 ERA, and of course that's a bit skewed because bullpen pitchers, they don't pitch as many innings. But he gave up 17 runs in 70.1 innings, if that answers your question at all. 60 strikeouts, 17 walks. I have no complaints. He took over the closer job after they traded away Bednar. He had 16 saves on the year compared to what Bednar had before he got traded, which I believe was 17. So Dennis Santana, I have no complaints with you. Now, for overall rankings, in terms of team ERA, This team finished the league in 7th. This team had the 7th best overall team ERA at 3.76. 3.76. 7th best in the league. 71-91. Okay, what about walks? 24th. Well, for whatever reason, the MLB labels it as 24th best. But in all honesty, it means they gave up the 6th least amount of walks at 473. That's really awesome. That's awesome. So, why did this team finish 71-91? That's what I'm going to get into now. The hitting. Bryan Reynolds, we are paying you $100 million. First player in franchise history to get that amount of money. 245 average. 16 home runs. 73 RBIs. 318 OBP, on base percentage. Not a bad season. Definitely better than where it was at the start of the year, where you were batting around the Mendoza line and you couldn't hit a beach ball. So definitely not as bad as where you were to start the year. But that's not worth $100 million. It is not worth the amount of money we are paying you. And if this team is going to be good, you got to be better. Now, I don't expect you to hit a ton of home runs. That's not what you do. That's not what you do. You're a contact hitter. So I expect the on-base percentage to be higher. I expect the average to be higher. The RBIs I'm okay with, because you typically bat second or third in the lineup anyways. But I'd like to see north of 80. Bryan Reynolds, I still love you, but you gotta be better. Daddy Kutch. I could never be mad at Daddy Kutch. I could never be mad at him. 239 average, 13 home runs, 57 RBIs, 333 on base percentage. He's not what he was. He's obviously not what he was. But make no mistake, he can still play baseball. A 333 on base percentage? That's not bad. That really isn't bad. For his age, that's not bad at all. I expect him to be back on a 1-year deal next year to get butts in chairs. I love you, Daddy Kutch. I can never hate you. Oneil Cruz. The early season darling. Guys, I fear this is just what Oneil Cruz is. And it's a shame, because if he could hit around league average, like 260, he could really be one hell of a baseball player. And he is. Make no mistake about it. He is a very good baseball player when he hits the ball. And that's the problem. He doesn't hit the ball. He doesn't hit the ball. He doesn't get on base. Oneil Cruz. 200 average. He is batting at the Mendoza line. That is not good for a guy who bats typically third. Now, I know later in the season he was batting around 6th or 7th, but still, Early on in the season, he was batting like third. That's not good. 20 home runs, which led the team, by the way. 61 RBIs and 298 on base percentage. Less than 300? Look, Oneil Cruz. You see the talent with Oneil Cruz just about every game. You see the talent. But dang, man, you gotta stop swinging at all this junk. You gotta stop swinging at all this junk. I think he finished the season with like 36, 38 stolen bases, somewhere around there. The number could be higher if he could get on base. You gotta be better. You gotta be better. I think there's a chance you get traded this offseason. But if you are on this team next year, you gotta be better. Nick Gonzalez. I have nothing bad to say about you. I really don't. I really don't. Nick Gonzalez, you missed a good chunk of the season. When you did play, I really didn't have much bad to say about you. At times, you were the best hitter on this team. 260 average, 5 home runs, 30 RBIs, and a 299 on base percentage. That's your cleanup hitter, by the way. That's who is playing cleanup batter most of the time, batting fourth in most games. And that's not a shot at Nick Gonzalez. Not a shot at Nick Gonzalez at all. He's a very good baseball player. I like how he plays defense. He bats league average. I have no complaints with Nick Gonzalez. But if he is batting cleanup batter in your lineup, there's a serious problem with your team. Because he's not that player. He's not. The Pirates are trying to use him like he is, and that's a problem. Spencer Horwitz. No complaints. I really don't have any complaints. Which is ironic, because I remember after the Spencer Horwitz trade was announced, I made a video on it. I made a video expressing my frustrations with this organization because they traded a young pitcher who was starting to get things going for an injured first baseman. And that annoyed me. And I think justifiably so at the time. However, here he didn't have a bad season at all. He really didn't, man. 272 average, 11 home runs, 51 RBIs, and a 353 on base percentage. That's second best on the team. That on base percentage at 353, that's second best on the team. I have no complaints with Spencer Horwitz. I really don't. Now, would I like to see the RBIs go up? Absolutely. But at the same time, you can't really help it when nobody's getting on base. Jared Triolo. Again, I have no complaints with him. Now, I know the 227 average, 7 home runs, 24 RBIs, and 311 on base percentage doesn't sound good, but he's not in the lineup to hit the ball. He's a defensive baseball player. He's a utility guy. He's not known for his hitting. There's a reason he won a Gold Glove. There's a reason he won a Gold Glove. Because he's really good at defense, and that's why he's on this team. He's not expected to hit home runs. He's just expected to play good defense. And that's what he does. So I have no complaints with Spencer Horwitz here. Joey Bart. 249 average, 4 home runs, 30 RBIs, 355 on base percentage. Joey Bart, another guy. It's hard to have any complaints with him. I know the 4 home runs and 30 RBIs seems bad and all, but he's a catcher. Like Spencer Horwitz, he's not expected to hit much. Now, he's definitely the best hitting catcher we have, in all fairness, but 355 OBP, that's the best on the team. That is the best on the team. And as for the 30 RBIs, as I said, he's not expected to hit. And when he does hit, there's never anybody on base. There's never anybody on base. What's he supposed to do? And if you're wondering why I didn't give Bryan Reynolds or Oneil Cruz the same amount of slack I'm giving some of these other guys, it's because they're expected to get on base. That's what they get paid to do. That's what they get paid to do. And they're not doing that. There's no reason Joey Bart should be getting on base more than Oneil Cruz and Bryan Reynolds. There's no reason Spencer Horwitz should be getting on base more than Bryan Reynolds and Oneil Cruz. There is no reason that a 37 or however old Andrew McCutchen is should be getting on base more than Bryan Reynolds and Oneil Cruz. There's no reason for that. But it's the reality. Henry Davis, probably the last player I'm going to talk about. 167 average, 7 home runs, 22 RBIs, 234 on base percentage. Here's the problem with Henry Davis. You could say send him down to the minors. Get him more experience there. Then maybe he'll be ready. Problem is that he cleans up in the minors. Right now he's looking like a 4A player. And if you don't know what that means, essentially what it means is a guy who's too good for AAA. Too good to be playing in AAA. But not good enough to be playing in the MLB. That's what he is. Right now he's a 4A player. And as a first overall pick, that's not good. So, where does this team rank? In batting average, they rank 28th in the league at 231. Okay, I mean, not the most important stat out there. In home runs, they rank last, dead last, and by a wide margin. The Pirates hit 117 home runs this year, which is dead last. The next closest is 148, the St. Louis Cardinals. $148 is the next closest. Pirates hit 117. That's not good. That's not good. Okay, what about RBIs? Oh, well, the Pirates ranked last. They rank last in that, too. They finished the year with 561 RBIs. Next closest, I believe, is the Colorado Rockies at 581. 20 less than the team that won, I think, 44 games this season? On base percentage. Yeah, they actually did okay in this one. They ranked 23rd. Yeah, no, that's still terrible. They still rank in the bottom third. So we know where the problem is. How do you fix it? How do you fix it? Starters, you have this guy in the minor leagues. I don't know, maybe you've heard of him. His name is Connor Griffin. He's absolutely tearing it up. He's tearing it up. He won Baseball America's Minor League Player of the Year, and very deservedly so. I mean, just go look at the stats. And the stats don't even tell the entire story. He is absolutely cleaning up. He has one of the best defensive grades. He's cleaning up in AAA. I can't speak enough good about the kid. This dude looks like he can be a franchise cornerstone. He'll probably get called up at some point next year. So that's exciting. Another thing you can do, Pete Alonso. This is a long shot, but Pete Alonso is going to be a free agent. Because he already said he's not re-signing with the Mets after they missed the playoffs, which is hilarious, by the way. You need a power bat. Now, I understand first baseman, believe it or not, isn't the most pressing need on this team. Spencer Horwitz, he did okay. He was one of the only guys that I'm okay with on the hitting side of things. But still, you need a power bat, and you need a power bat really badly. You haven't had a good power bat in Lord knows how long. Get yourself a power bat. If the owner could open up the wallet just a little bit, this team might have a chance of being something. And I mean that. You just gotta fix the hitting. Because the pitching is doing its job. As I said, the pitching is 7th. And all that talent right now is being wasted. And there is nothing that infuriates me more in the world of sports than wasted talent. Let's move on to some front office stuff. Don Kelly. I have no problems with Don Kelly. I like Don Kelly a lot, actually. Of course, Derek Shelton ended up getting fired a while back, like 30 or so games in. Pirates fired him because the team was not playing well whatsoever. Don Kelly, overall as a manager, he went 59-64. That's pretty good considering the circumstances. And on top of that, Don Kelly is a guy who is obviously willing to fight for his players. I mean, we saw that in literally, his first or second game when he got ejected because he didn't like a call. He's willing to fight for his guys, and that's one of the things I want in a manager. And these guys are obviously willing to play for him. It's not a good roster, but I can tell they never gave up. Don Kelly kept this team motivated. So I genuinely would not mind seeing him as the manager next season. I really wouldn't. Now, do I think he'll get the job is a different story entirely. It's not terribly often you see the interim keep the job past next season. It's not terribly often. So would I be surprised if he keeps the job? A little. But I really wouldn't. I really wouldn't hate it. I really wouldn't. I'd be just fine if we went into next season as Don Kelly being our manager. I'd be just fine with it. Ben Cherington. He's got to go. Now, I know he said that he expects to keep his job. He said this like a week ago. And look, I've been very patient with Ben Cherington. And the simple fact is that, there's a stat, maybe you've heard of it. Pirates haven't signed a free agent to a multi-year deal since 2016. That predates Ben Cherington. So I've been very patient with him for that reason. Because I don't think he's the main problem. I think it's the guy above him. But, I mean, that's pretty obvious to anyone who even remotely follows baseball. But at this point, I do think Ben Cherington is a problem. And I think the moment I was done with him was the trade deadline. I understand what they were doing at the trade deadline. They wanted to get rid of some of their pieces like Ke'Bryan Hayes, David Bednar, Caleb Ferguson, pieces like that, Bailey Falter. The list goes on. They were trying to get rid of pieces like that and get ready for the future. And so by doing that, they only got minor league players. That I did not like. I wish they had gotten even one major league bat out of all those trades they made. Didn't say it had to be a superstar. But again, I understand where he was coming from at the time, but I think he has to go. Do I think he'll get fired? I think it's best for this team. I think it's just best to start over with a brand new regime, both new manager, new GM. I think it's best for the team. And the final guy I'm going to talk about today is Bob Nutting. Just open up the wallets, please. You're holding back this franchise so much because you're not opening up the wallets even a little bit. If you could spend even a fraction of what you have, this team could be good. But right now, you don't care. You don't care. As long as you're making money, you don't care. I believe you're like the third richest owner in sports. In all of sports, not just baseball. And it's because of how much money you hold back. Shameful. Open up the wallets, please. And if you're not going to do that, sell the team. Now, the final thing I'm going to go on about today, final two things, rather. Why? Why did I spend my entire summer talking about a team that doesn't care? Talking about a team that does nothing every year? For two reasons. One, I wanted to prove that I was here when it was bad. So that way none of you can call me a bandwagon when they are finally, hopefully, for the love of God, good. I want this team to win so bad. I want it so bad. I want it so bad. And the other reason is, I see this as a hobby of mine. I really do. I see this as a hobby of mine. And so I enjoy just talking to myself when nobody else will listen about some of the things I love. And I, unfortunately, love this team. Now, do I expect to do this next year? Maybe. If I were to do this next year and react to every single Pirate game, I don't know if I'd do it in the same format I did it this year. Because, there were a lot of times where I just didn't have much to say. And so I don't know if I would I don't know how I'd do it. I don't know if I would do it, once a week, after every series. I don't know how I'd do it. I don't I don't know what I don't know. It's something I'd have to think about. If you care enough, let me know. Let me know what you think. Or don't. I don't care. But yeah, I guess that's it for all these reactions. I cannot believe I got through all 162 games. I thought for sure I would miss one at some point, but I actually did it. Uh, it's gonna be weird not doing it for the entire of winter. It's gonna be weird, but that's it. If you've seen any of the videos, thank you for your time. Don't die, and hopefully the Pirates can actually be good. Also, actually, hold on, one more thing. I'm not. I just because baseball is ending for the Pirates does not mean I am done. I still plan to make playoff predictions, and of course, I'm going to be talking about NFL weekly, and NHL is coming up soon. I plan on talking about that. I don't think I'll make reaction videos for the Penguins, but what I probably will do is I will likely do like a quarterly review of the Penguins and how they're doing. But that's neither here nor there. Anyways, don't die.